Hello boyos, Rich Boy J here back with another video, and this is going to be episode number 14 of the Starkiller base mock build series. This week, we finally started building upwards on the stage. You can see behind me, some of that actual building has been started, which makes me very happy. This is something I've been waiting for ever since the inception of this mock, so I think you guys are really going to want to stay tuned to see how far along I got with that. But before we get into the mock, I do want to just give a very special thanks to those of you who donated on the live stream I did this week, so very special thanks to Ty the Lego Guy, Starwarsgeek 5782, Dandan 6151, and BrickKid. You guys are awesome. Like I always say, you guys, if you're not tuning into the live streams, I certainly urge you to do so. It is a great way for you to not only see the mock early, but also just to hang out with a bunch of boyos and talk Star Wars. What more could you want than that? But like I was saying earlier, yeah, we finally got a bunch of work done on the stage, I feel. I'm actually super excited to show it off to you guys. It is really just so closely resembling what we see in the film. So without further ado, let's stop talking and let's show you guys the mock. All right, let's talk about Starkiller. So to start off with the update I know you guys have been waiting on, I have finally finished up with the tiles on the elevator. There are now quarter or half circle tiles on each of these little light fixture things. And the kind of annoying thing about this is I actually finished this before the order that I placed came in. So I kind of did it for no reason. I ended up just finding out I had actually a few places where I had those quarter tiles that I hadn't yet looked. So that just goes to let you guys know, sort your collections, like do it. You'll save money in the long run. I have found out so many times throughout this mock that I really just need to sort my collection because I'm spending money where I don't have to, buying parts I already have. Moral of the story, sort those collections. But after that PSA, let's go ahead and dive into the actual progress that was done on the mock. On the live stream, I worked on basically the stage trim right here, so you can see this area. It's mostly done. I still need to fill in some slopes, but it was basically just done to replicate what we see on the other side. So now, basically on the stage wall on either side, it is complete up to that trim area, which actually is really nice. Makes me really happy. I feel like I just recently started the stage area in general, so for it to be, at least this part of it, the wall area, to be basically done makes me really happy. So once I get those slopes in, it'll be completely done. Surprisingly enough, I just didn't have a lot of those dark gray 33-degree slopes in 1x3 or 2x3, so I don't know, I would have assumed I would have had enough to at least do this, but apparently I did. I actually had to steal some parts from my ATM6, but shh, don't tell anyone. Another thing I worked on was basically the tiling on the actual stage area, so you can see it is just looks a lot more complete than it has at any point up till this point. I also worked on, I think I had like a bit of the area on this side done, specifically like where those grill tiles are. Got that built up on the other side, as well as finishing those steps. Got, of course, more snow details in there. Snow details all over the place. The goal with the actual snow details was to basically just put them kind of in cracks and crevices, kind of where they would naturally settle on like a structure like this. So you can see I have them in the corners of the stairs. There's some even like there in that corner. Same thing kind of if you look in there, and then it's actually the same thing over on this side. So trying to keep the snow looking very natural, and I think it's actually coming out pretty well. So the biggest change that's happened with the mock since you guys have last seen it is the big stage area, which is actually back behind where our guys are standing. The nicest thing about this is that once I like figured out kind of how this build in here would be, it was pretty straightforward because it's very boxy just in general. The kind of difficult part is making sure I'm consistently adding in little details and weathering. Kind of like you can see we got some of that gray in there. I think I put some on the inside, and then the section over here that I've really built up, I've done actually quite a bit of it. Let me move this TIE fighter out of the way. So you can see there's just various weathering details all throughout this thing. And that's important because, like, in the reference material I have, a lot of snow has either, like, just kind of gotten slightly dusted on the structure, or the building has just generally weathered away, just being in such harsh conditions. So I definitely want to make sure I have that apparent in this mock. So I'm definitely trying to make sure like I'm keeping a lot of that detail incorporated as I'm building up, because I mean the easy thing to do would be just to build up, right? Like just gray bricks to build up, you're done. But you have to make sure you have that detail in there, that weathering detail specifically. So I'm just trying to be mindful of that as I'm approaching the top of this building right here. So this little angled section right here was actually quite difficult for me to figure out. I actually like what I converged on, the use of those reverse 45-degree slopes with those slanted bricks in there, and then of course the plates that kind of face outwards on it. So ideally I would use those sandwich tiles or like the wedge 2x2 tiles, but those do not yet exist in dark gray, so I'm stuck using the 4x4 wedge plates, and then everything else around it will be tiled. Another thing that I'm going to have to be mindful of is just doing the weathering on the front of this as well. Unfortunately, it's not going to be built with bricks. It'll be built with plates on the front. That's just the best design I was able to come up with, and keeping really just with the general shape that it's supposed to be. So that's kind of disappointing because it would be nice to have the consistent detail wrapping around to the front. But I'll just have to be a little bit more clever with the usage of just light gray and maybe even some white tiles on the front to continue that weathering all the way around. So once I figured that out, like I said, it was pretty straightforward, but I put quite a bit of work into figuring this out because it's not really like an obvious shape, especially not one that translates to Lego very well at all, actually. But I like it. It's kind of angled going in over here and then on either side, and then of course the front is angled right here. So I feel like whenever I just get that built up really tall, it's actually going to look really nice having those angles in there. And I think what you can really appreciate this MOC even more now, just kind of like looking at it from the pulled back view, because if you looked at the stage of Starkiller base, it's immediately apparent what that building is behind them. So I'm actually getting super excited. I actually can't even wait to finish this update because I'm so excited to resume working on that stage area and just build it up even more and really just get it finished up, you know? I really just want to have the entire stage, this side of the MOC, done within the next few weeks so we can, for one, move on to the base, but also so I can just appreciate this scene kind of holistically, you know. But I mean, we still are making our way through it. I'm enjoying the build process. I just really do want to see this section just 100% done. But until then, we can appreciate the progress. And you can see I actually put up these like tile builds right here, which are meant to represent nothing other than the banners that are going to hang. I really just put these here for spacing just to make sure it's going to be correct. Like, I did a lot of this math before I even started building, but this is just kind of good as a sanity check just to make sure, you know, once I put those banners there, it's not going to interfere with anything else I've built, and it'll look correct. So for what I'm seeing now, I think it's going to be fine. I'm actually super, super hyped to incorporate those big banners in the back. And I'm going to have to talk to some people and see if we can work out how I can get basically the big First Order logo printed across those 3 banners. I've actually been talking to someone. I won't say their name until we can get something concrete nailed down, but I think that's actually not going to be nearly as difficult as I thought it would be, and that would actually take quite a burden off of my mind if we can work that out. So that's a work in progress. You guys will see that probably come into fruition within the next few weeks. The other thing you're probably going to notice is, why the heck is there that big black wall there? So I guess, I mean, there's not really a good view of this other than in the Battlefront game, and I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be there. Basically, in the Battlefront game, there's like stairs right here that lead up into the base. I actually know for a fact that's not correct, because in that book I showed off in the most recent video, like, it's not my most recent video, but the book that I showed you guys about the like amazing locations, or I think it's called like complete locations, they actually show that Snoke's like hologram room is behind this. So I know for a fact that that's not canon. I didn't think it would really make sense to put that here in the MOC. It would just be really difficult for me to show it off. Like, I'd have to reach across the table, somehow pull the front of this thing off to show the room. The side would just not be ideal because there's going to be a giant turret right there, as well as rock work. Like, it wouldn't make sense to try to incorporate it that way either. So that hologram room is just going to be somewhere along the side in the base behind this, but there's not going to be anything like in this area. So I decided to just put the black wall there to basically just create shadows. The big banners are going to be covering up most of this anyways, and from the film, you can't really see what's behind it. So my idea is, let's just put black wall there. banners will cover up most of it, so it'll look mostly just like shadows behind it. So I guess it looks kind of weird now, just this giant black wall on this base, but it'll make a lot more sense as we move forward and we actually have big banners to put in front of the MOC. But all in all, guys, that's what I got for you this week. I'm actually just so happy with the progress I've gotten done, especially just with the stage, just seeing it come to life, essentially. It's just making me so happy. I think one of the things that's probably going to be worth doing, like as I kind of make progress along with the bigger structures, is to start looking at some of the small details in this MOC. Like there's cargo crates and stuff that are kind of scattered through here. It's not something I'll make a big deal out of. Like I'm not going to, like say I have to have all these cargo crates done before I proceed, but it's something worth looking into just so I can start accumulating pieces, make a design, stuff like that. You guys know the drill. But yeah, let's actually go ahead and move to the end segment of the video. And that's going to finish up this week's update, guys. Hope you enjoy checking out what I've done on Starkiller Base so far. Definitely let me know what you think about what I've done on the stage. I think that it's coming along so well. It's so nice to have at least most of that middle main section tiled off. I feel like I'm converging on a period where I can actually do some like views videos. If you guys don't remember those are basically the photo slideshows I used to post. And I really can't start those until I've made a decent amount of progress in the MOC, because there's only so many photographs I can take of the MOC as is. But I'm thinking that like in the next coming weeks, I'll actually be able to start doing those with this series, because I am getting more built up and just more of the MOC is kind of becoming photogenic and things like that. So yeah, let me know what you think about the stage. I, for one, am very excited for it. And moving forward, I'm just going to continue working on it, just building upwards and upwards. I'm hoping by the next time you see this MOC, I'll actually be able to like have banners hanging right there, not just those little red tile builds that I put in front of it. So I don't expect for the decals to be made for a while. That's just something that will take a while for me to work out, but I at least want to have those red banners hanging. That's going to be super important. And of course, on the long side, the building, there's going to start the rock work and the turrets. So I'll probably actually start up an LDD file this week to just make a little bit of progress on that. The nice thing about that is it's, like I said, a mirror build. So I'm going to basically, it's not even a mirror build, it's the exact same build on both sides. So I really only have to build one and then like change around some of the weathering and the snow scatters on it to make it look like not exactly the same, but for the most part the build will be the same. So it's nice that I won't have to design like two unique turrets, if you guys get what I mean by that. But that's going to finish up the update this week. Like I always say, guys, if you like what I do, go ahead and support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.